Facing the parking lot, I thought fondly of my beloved old car. Robert, you really are. As I turned toward the voice, Sophia looked at me with a calm expression. My name is Robert, and I'm 26 years old. I joined my current company as a skilled employee with prior work experience 2 years ago. The company is a small programming firm. As a software engineer, my days are spent in front of a computer. Most of my colleagues are also intensely focused on their computers. For someone like me who's not great at communicating, it's the perfect workplace. Today, everyone on the floor is quietly getting their work done. Robert. Except for this one colleague. Hey, I need to talk to you. This is Samantha. She's 24, younger than me, but she joined the company right after high school. She's been here for nearly 6 years, making her a veteran. She handles administration, accounting, and miscellaneous tasks. She's pretty meticulous at her job, but what a character! Bright blonde hair, perfect makeup and nails, and daily changing perfumes. She's just a different breed. The floor, usually quiet, tends to be lively whenever she speaks to someone. What is it? Naturally, I, who am not fond of communication, find Samantha challenging. We sit far apart, so she rarely speaks to me. What does she want today? Why don't you go on a blind date? A blind date? I couldn't help but exclaim in a ridiculous tone. At that, Samantha burst into laughter. Don't take it so seriously. There's this really cute girl, one of my colleagues, you know? Aren't you interested? Not really. I cut her off sharply. The woman Samantha is trying to set me up with. I just don't feel like we'd be a good match. Come on, just meet her. Just when I thought the conversation was over, she persisted. I'm not interested in dating right now. I thought I had cut her off sharply, but Samantha was unfazed, asking, so? Maybe you'll get interested once you meet her? Seriously, don't you find everyday life a bit bland? I've never seen you looking like you're having fun. She said this bluntly. Since she's always like this, her words don't particularly hurt me. I'm satisfied with my life as it is. Besides, Samantha. What are you thinking, introducing someone like me? No offense, but I'm a plain guy. I know. It's one thing to say it myself, but it irks me when others do. All the guys around me are so loud. I thought maybe it'd be refreshing to have someone like you around for a change. That was quite an insult. Naturally, my answer was a firm no. But, right? It's settled then. This Sunday, at 10 a.m., meet at Central Station. You have a car, right? Come pick me up in your car, okay? She had forcefully decided on the time and place. I said I'm not going. It's impossible. Please ask someone else. How about asking Ryan? When I casually mentioned Ryan, his eyes widened and he shook his head vigorously. Robert is the one I want this time. Are you really going to turn down a colleague's request? I won't do your errands anymore. I won't even process your expenses. Are you okay with that? That would be a problem. Well, but... Just as I was about to complain further, our manager, Brandon, shouted in anger. Samantha, enough. Good, Brandon finally intervened. Just as I thought this issue was resolved, Robert. Just give in and go. She's making too much noise, followed by an unbelievable continuation. Yes. Look, it's an order from the manager. I tried to protest Samantha, cutting off her exclamations. But, come on, it's a good experience. Maybe non-assertive men are the trend now. But as an American man. Brandon, suddenly fired up, lectured me for about 20 minutes. I decided to give up. Fine, I'll go on Sunday. It seems she targeted me out of novelty, but I planned to bow out within 5 seconds of the meeting. On the day, Sunday, I dressed casually and arrived at the meeting spot in my beloved car. After parking, I met up with them at the station concourse. Next to Samantha, who was wearing an even flashier miniskirt than usual, was my blind date. Her hair wasn't as flashy as Samantha's but still dyed brown. Her makeup was impeccable with false eyelashes, and she wore a long skirt. Samantha was teasing her. Hey Sophia, what's with that outfit? You're less enthusiastic than usual. Where's your sexy miniskirt? Don't spill the beans, Samantha. So, she usually wears more revealing clothes. Isn't your perfume too mild today? Eh? But Samantha, you said milder is better. I did say that, but isn't this too mild? Right, Robert? Honestly, I couldn't care less. I really think we're just too different. Ah, this is Sophia. Samantha introduced us, ignoring my confusion. The woman introduced herself cheerfully. I'm Sophia. Very happy to meet you today. I'm Robert. Nice to meet you. As I mumbled my greeting, Samantha immediately retorted, cheer up. Stand up straight. And what's with that outfit? You knew you were meeting a girl. Right? You could have put more effort into it. I should have chosen an outfit for you. Samantha was as loud as ever this early in the morning. This is my best outfit, though. Samantha was shocked by my blurted reply, and Sophia burst out laughing. Did she just laugh? That's funny. I didn't know what exactly tickled her, but my appearance didn't make her decline the blind date. Then let's head over to the cafe in Robert's car. We can talk more there. Samantha energetically waved her fist and headed for the parking lot. We arrived at the parking lot and walked toward my beloved car. As we approached, Samantha's face grew increasingly pale. Please, get in. When I unlocked my old, cherished car, Samantha screamed. I had a hunch, but is this junker really your car? Calling it a junker is rude. It's an old compact car that I've been taking good care of. Sure, the paint is peeling here and there, and it's faded. It might look ready for the scrapyard, but I maintain it well, and it still runs fine. Ew, I'm riding in this? I can't. It's you, Samantha. I knew you would say that. Now, Sophia, you feel the same, right? No way. Nodding, I was ready to call it quits there. That's super cute though. What? Samantha and I froze. Wow. It's a two-door. So cute. It looks adorable with its compact shape and faded color. Can I ride in it? Sure. Overwhelmed by the enthusiasm, I agreed. Sophia happily climbed into the car. She buckled up and sat up straight. Hey, Samantha, what's going on here? What do you mean? Well, normally someone would politely refuse after seeing this car, right? It's fine, Sophia seems to like it. But I have no plan. Just as I was about to say more, Samantha's phone rang. Oh. It's my boyfriend. No way, he's free to meet now. Lucky. I had a bad feeling. Okay. I don't want to ride in this car. You two have fun. Just as I expected. Give me a break. I can't do this without you, Samantha. I'm not good at talking. As I protested, Samantha seemed preoccupied with thoughts of her boyfriend. It's okay, it's okay. Sophia will do the talking. Okay, Robert? Smirking, she leaned in close. Make sure you get her. With that, Samantha vanished into the station concourse at the speed of light. Where's Samantha? When Sophia realized it was just going to be only me, she looked a bit uneasy. She's got a date with her boyfriend, so it's just us two now. Awkward, right? I'll just take you home today. I hinted at disbanding, but Sophia responded, oh, that's great for Samantha, she's been looking lonely lately. Oh, can I go to the restroom? I'll be back in 5 minutes. Though she could have taken the train home. Without saying a word, I nodded, watching her walk away. When Sophia returned, she seemed like a different person. Sorry. I touched up my makeup. If I had shown up in front of Samantha like this, she would have teased me. The makeup Sophia wore was more natural, almost like she was barefaced. Recently, my makeup has been too heavy. Oh, how is it? Weird. Her slightly embarrassed expression was unexpectedly cute. It's fine, either way, but... Sophia flinched slightly. You don't have to force yourself. Then Sophia blushed slightly and said, since we've just met, oh, but please feel free to point out anything odd about me. Oh. That was quite rude of Samantha, wasn't it? I'm sorry. She didn't mean any harm. Ah, indeed, she did tear into my car quite a bit. She's notoriously blunt at work too. But it's okay. She may speak harshly, but at heart, she's a good person. I know that. She's also meticulous at her job, and she even makes coffee daily, keeping each employee's preferences in mind. Saying this, Sophia looked as if she herself had been praised. Are you sure this is okay? Suddenly just the two of us. Ah. It's fine. Let's go. So the blind date continued. I'm not good at making conversation, and surely, if the silence in the car drags on, she will tire of a plain guy like me. I tried to steel myself, but then. Do you want some chewing gum? Water? I brought a variety of things. Do you prefer sweet or salty snacks? What do you like to do on your days off, Robert? Her words bombarded me like an unstoppable deluge. There was hardly a moment of silence. And there I was, unable to respond well. Gradually, I began to sink into self-loathing. Ah, this is fun. Hearing that, I blurted out, I'm not looking to date anyone right now. Without any context, I suddenly blurted out my true feelings. I was slightly irritated that Sophia called our quiet car ride fun. I wasn't providing any entertainment. There's no way it could actually be fun. We should end this farce quickly. It's a waste of both my time and Sophia's. At a red light, I glanced at Sophia's face, and she responded with a smile. That's okay. Her smile seemed a bit clouded. Don't be so serious. Oh, are you tired from driving? Should we take a break somewhere? The tense atmosphere lightened slightly. In the end, my statement only seemed to make her more considerate. Feeling unbearable, I suggested going to a movie. Sophia's eyes sparkled, a movie date. Yay! I want to buy caramel popcorn. I had only suggested it because it meant 2 hours without needing to talk. Yet, she was excited. I sank deeper into self-disgust. Wow! What's that? Where? Did that come up before? Ha! That line was funny, wasn't it? That was naive of me. People who love to talk will talk anywhere. Seemingly aware of disturbing other people, she whispered in my ear in a hushed voice. It was ticklish. Suddenly, I realized. Wait, is she taller than me? Sophia's face was above my line of sight. Oh, maybe it's just her good posture. I've always been a bit slouched. I had noticed her good posture even in the car. As I was momentarily captivated by her posture, she offered me some popcorn. I hadn't really wanted any. Reflecting back, she had offered drinks and chewing gum while driving, too. I felt a warm feeling inside. It reminded me of how my grandmother used to show her care. After the movie, the question arose, where to next? I shouldn't be swept away by Sophia's cheerful disposition. I needed to be clear. Sorry, continuing this is a waste of time. I really don't want to date anyone, and we're just too different in personality and everything. I'll drive you home, let's call it a day. Sophia looked surprised and a bit resigned. Understood, but there's just one place I'd like to stop by before we head back, is that okay? So, I drove the car, since it seemed to be on our way home. Here. The destination was a spacious park with a view of the ocean. Famous for its annual fireworks festival, it was actually a place I was quite familiar with. Sophia suggested we walk a little, so we got out of the car. Unusually, Sophia was silent. It felt a bit awkward. This bench. It was just an ordinary bench in the park. This is where you helped me, she said. Surprised, I stared at Sophia. You're the type who can't leave someone in trouble alone, aren't you? I remembered several instances where this was true. Lost, feeling sick. When I spot someone like that in the bustling crowd, I can't just ignore them. Indeed, that's my nature. My beloved grandparents were the same. One day during the fireworks festival, I came here with friends. I wasn't used to the sandals I was wearing and they hurt so much. It became painful to walk, and I went looking for a convenience store. I told my friends to go ahead without me. But there was no store around. And when I couldn't walk anymore, I sat down here on this bench and huddled up, then you offered me a bandage. I remembered. Suddenly, a memory of a woman holding her foot and looking down came to my mind. Wait, That was you, Sophia? You looked so different. I didn't recognize you at all. Sophia smiled faintly. I had dyed my hair black and styled it up, so the vibe was totally different. I see, that explained the drastic change in her appearance. As I nodded in understanding, Sophia continued. I was so moved, but I couldn't ask for your contact info, and I never thought we'd meet again. But there was a drinking party of your company last month, right? As she mentioned it, I recalled. A mandatory social gathering that everyone had to attend. That day, Samantha called me. It sucked, so we're having our own little party, she said. I was nearby, so I joined early, and there you were. Robert, I was so surprised. I asked Samantha to introduce you. I wasn't just filler then. It wasn't just a random selection, she had been looking for me, and I was the one she wanted. Surprised by this revelation, I found myself staring at Sophia. Unable to stand the tension, I asked a question. Why are you close with Samantha? Upon hearing this, Sophia smiled thinly. My parents are divorced. It felt like I had asked something I shouldn't have, unsure how to respond. My parents were always busy too, we hardly talked, I tried to reply. Sophia smiled faintly again. Before they divorced, it was really tough. I went off the rails then. That's when I met Samantha. Just hanging out and having fun without thinking about anything. I thought if I lost Samantha and the others, I'd have nowhere else to go. So I really put effort into my makeup and clothes. I see. Searching for a place to belong, was Samantha that place? Couldn't there have been somewhere else? My grandmother died around the time of my parents' divorce. I used to be sent to stay with my grandmother whenever my parents fought. With both my parents divorcing and my grandmother gone, I ran away from everything. That's why I'm really grateful to Samantha. If it weren't for them at that time, who knows what would have happened. Oh, but I'm thinking of moving on from the makeup soon. If your grandmother saw this makeup, she'd faint, I teased. With that, she jumped up in a panic. Just thinking about it scares me. I loved her because she was so kind, but she was very strict. I see. Your good posture is thanks to your grandmother's upbringing, then, I remarked. As I said this, her spine stretched even taller, and her face turned bright red. I suddenly felt a kinship with her, and my guard came down. My parents were always busy with work, too. It was pretty much my grandparents who raised me. I get it. Grandmothers are super strict but also incredibly kind. As I expressed empathy, Sophia's face lit up with joy. That car is actually a keepsake from my grandfather. He cherished it so much, and I wanted to keep it. I turned towards the parking lot, my thoughts lingering on my beloved old car. Robert, you really are. As I turned toward her voice, Sophia was facing me with a serene expression. You're a wonderful person. You care about your grandfather and you're kind. I blushed and looked down, embarrassed by her straightforward compliment. I want to wait until you like me back. I finally found you. I don't want to give up. Is there absolutely no chance? Honestly, my impression of her had changed considerably since we first met. For the better. Much better. But then, I suddenly remembered. The women who approached me during my student days. As soon as they realized I wasn't what they expected, they drifted away. Give me some time to think. That was all I could manage to say. Months later. Sorry for making you wait. I just couldn't tie this ribbon properly, does it look okay? Sophia twirled in front of me in her dress. It looks fine, but it might come undone if you move too much. Hearing this, she suddenly straightened her back, startled. I won't get too excited. But... She gently took my hand. Is it okay if I hold your hand? She looked up at me with those big eyes. I was probably blushing all the way to my ears. Today was our fireworks date. At that same park where we had apparently first met. Yes, I had decided to date Sophia. After that day we parted ways. Sophia was persistent. She'd call or message whenever there was a chance. Somehow, she had managed to set up dates without me even realizing. Samantha kept teasing me, Sophia has changed. Are you guys dating? Just date her already. Sophia had gradually become more herself around Samantha. I didn't need Samantha to tell me, but by that time I had fallen in love with Sophia, who I felt comfortable with. Sophia was talkative and cheerful. Of course, she never got upset even when I couldn't speak well. Recently, even the silences felt comfortable. That's why I was worried. Whether to let Sophia know everything about me as I truly am. After watching the fireworks, as we were moving through the crowd, Sophia noticeably slowed down. I looked down and saw that the tops of her feet were red. It seemed the straps of her sandals had rubbed her skin raw again. Unfortunately, I didn't have any band-aids with me today. Sophia was supposed to have brought some, but they were nowhere to be found, possibly dropped somewhere. It looked like it would be difficult to get her back to her apartment by train. Maybe this is a good opportunity. I muttered softly, and Sophia tilted her head in confusion. Feeling a sudden closeness, I suggested, "My place is nearby, should we go there?" Sophia reacted with exaggerated surprise. In the months we had been seeing each other, I had never once invited her over to my home. While I had stopped by her place a few times when dropping her off, I had never hosted her at mine. She seemed a bit sad about this. The reason I hesitated to invite her over. It was because... Wait, is this high-rise yours? That was the reason. Wait, you work at the same company as Samantha, right? How can you afford the rent here? I invited a stunned Sophia inside and tended to her feet. What did Samantha tell you about me? Sophia recounted as she remembered. Well, she said you were plain, serious, always brought your lunch, and seemed like you didn't have much money. She even wondered if I still wanted you. What a description. But that was fine. That was the kind of person I was striving to become. I am plain and serious, but my investments have done well, and I have a decent amount of money. Enough to buy a high-rise as a tax strategy. I explained. Sophia's eyes widened even more. Why didn't you tell me until now? She squeezed out a perfectly reasonable question. In one word, distrust. My parents were successful in business, remember? I told you they were always busy. That meant a lot of money was around. I don't live lavishly, but somehow people find out about such things. People would befriend me. And when they realized they couldn't get money out of me, they'd call me boring and exclude me. I went out with a girl because she said, "I like your kindness," and then she asked me for expensive brand-name goods for her birthday and Christmas. I didn't have that kind of allowance. So when I refused, they'd call me lame and break up with me. Eventually, I realized they were only after my parents' money. And I couldn't trust anyone anymore, I confessed. Sophia looked like she was about to cry. What about your parents? They handed over their business and are enjoying their retirement abroad. Didn't you take over the business? A natural question. Maybe it was out of stubbornness. I didn't want to simply inherit my parents' success. It didn't suit me. I said awkwardly, looking down. The business was in trade, involving a lot of travel and socializing, which I found difficult. So, I thought I'd support my parents by learning about investments, helping them from behind the scenes. They probably knew I was struggling. They decided to hand the business over to someone else and told me to live freely. I was told I could just let it be, but that didn't really matter to me. I used all the money I received from my parents for college and job start gifts on investments. Whether it was beginner's luck or the payoff of my studies, it worked out. My parents often said, "Why don't you spend more lavishly?" But I've never been comfortable with extravagant spending. My parents are abroad, and we hardly communicate now. But I was loved by my grandparents. Even if my parents were busy and friends or lovers drifted away, I wanted to stand on my own 2 feet. Enough of that story. More importantly, Sophia, now that you know the truth about me, what do you think? Sophia looked at me, startled. Perhaps she thought she had struck it rich. Or that I had been awful for deceiving her. Or that I hadn't trusted her enough to share this for so long. However, Sophia surprised me with a response I hadn't anticipated. I'm not a match for you. A question mark appeared in my mind. I decided to ask her directly. What do you mean? Tears began to fall from Sophia's eyes. I'm not a match for you, you come from such a respectable family. You've experienced loneliness yet didn't lash out and drop out, you went to university. You even learned investing to support your parents and stood on your own without frivolously using their money. I felt like crying too. There had been times when I thought about spending my parents' money freely. Everyone around me expected that of me. But it was my beloved grandparents who stopped me. And now, out of respect for them, I am careful about how I use the surplus money I have. I felt that Sophia had acknowledged this. However, the silence as I pondered this was interpreted differently by Sophia. See, I really don't match up. A high school graduate and former delinquent can't even meet your parents. I'm sorry, I should go. I won't contact you anymore. Leaving a bewildered me behind, Sophia quickly exited my apartment. It was all so sudden that I just stared dumbfounded in the direction she had gone. Pull yourself together, me. It's not like that. I shouted toward the door Sophia had left through and dashed out without a second thought. I might never meet a woman like Sophia again. Images of the Sophia I knew flashed through my mind like a slideshow. Always bright, often laughing, and her posture was always impeccable. Her way of eating was so graceful that I often found myself mesmerized. She seemed to feel complex about her troubled past, but to me, she was always beautiful, no matter the circumstances. I wanted to embrace that troubled her. Since that can no longer happen, I want to embrace her of now, forever. I caught up with Sophia, and all these words that I had uttered at once became the words of a proposal from me to her.